channel. Hello, good morning and good afternoon everyone. Today I would like to read with you a few verses from Genesis and see how Luria reads those verses. So let's start. Genesis chapter 28 verses 11 and 19. I start with the Hebrew. ויפגע במקום וילן שם קיבה השמש ויקח מאבני המקום וישם מראשותיו וישכב במקום ההוא. And he lighted upon the place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. Good morning, Fernando. Hello, Rodrigo. Shalom, shalom.
Good evening, Eti. Shalom, Rodrigo and friends.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. How do you do?
I'm fine, Eti, and I'm happy to listen to you and to be here.
Thank you. How is the
And
weather
how are you
today?
doing, Eti?
It's a bit cloudy today, but it's a beautiful day.
Here as well. It is a bit cloudy, but it is warm, and it is a beautiful day here.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Is there a question that you would like to ask before we start?
No, Eti, I'm ready to start and to listen what is passing to you and Rodrigo and to join the conversation.
Very well. So there is Genesis chapter 28 verses 11 and 19 and Genesis chapter 29 verse 25. Would you like to start reading them?
Yes, I don't know if my sound is okay.
It is
because
excellent.
I noticed that okay, so I can start it. So let's read today the Genesis chapter 28, Bereshit, verse 11. And he lighted upon the place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set, and he took one of the stones of the place and put it under his head and lay down in that place to sleep. And verse 19, and he called the name of that place Bet-El, but the name of the city was Luz at the first.
Thank you. And chapter 29 verse 25.
So Genesis chapter 29 verse 25. And it came to pass in the morning that, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
Thank you so much. Now we shall see how how Luria sees those verses. So we are reading from Luria's writing, Kitvei Ha'ari, Likutei Torah U'Te'amei Mitzvot, the collections of the Torah and the reasons of the good deeds. Seder Bereshit, order Bereshit, order Genesis, Parashat Vayetze, portion Vayetze. Again, Likutei Torah, Torah collection, and the name of the article, Vayikach me'avnei hamakom. And he took one of the stones of the place. Yes, Od Gimel. Mark 3. Hine kan zacha Yaakov. Here Jacob had the righteousness להידבק בהארת Leah, to stick or to cleave with the illumination of Leah. לכן שמה מראשותיו. This is why he put it under his head. כי לאה מקומה בראש, because Leah, her place is in the head. וזה שכתוב, and this is what it is written, וישכב במקום ההוא, and he lay down in that place. כלומר, meaning, שיש זיווג, there is a mating or marriage in that place. במקום ההוא, מקום is a place, ההוא hidden. Hidden, ההוא, because who in Hebrew is he, third person singular. So there is a mating, a marriage, a connection in that hidden place. בסוד הדיבור, in the secret of speaking or the speech. וכל הזיווג ההוא, and all of this mating, not this but hidden. I say this, it means ההוא, because whenever we say who, third person singular, it's hidden. And his, how shall I translate it to a good English? Hidden mating or connecting or uniting. הוא להשפיע, it is to influence. כף בית עטוון, to influence the 22 letters. Please pay attention to the Aramaic. In Hebrew, otiyot are letters. Let's learn a bit Aramaic. 1 second. The board is charging at the moment, so I cannot write, but soon it will return and I will write the word. So I just repeat, Atvan in Aramaic are letters. In Hebrew, otiyot. Please pay attention. Let's get closer to the text. Here, this is Atvan. This is letters. Letters in Aramaic. Atvan. And in Hebrew, otiyot. Ot is letter. Otiyot, letters. This is Hebrew. This is Aramaic. Yes. And all of this mating, unification, connecting, is to influence the 22 letters, meaning the marriage or the unification of Jacob and Leah is to influence the 22 letters in the secret of speech. אלא, but, שבכאן נעלם מאוד, but here it is very hidden. ונקרא, and it is called, Alma de Itkasia. Alma, olam, Itkasia, concealed. The world of the concealed world. Alma de Itkasia, concealed or covered. ורחל, and Rachel, Alma de Itgalia, and Rachel is the revealed world or the manifestation. וזה שכתוב, and this is written, ויהי בבוקר, and it was in the morning, והנה היא לאה, and here she is Leah. כי בלילה הייתה נעלמת, because at night she was concealed or hidden. אבל בבוקר, but in the morning, והנה היא לאה, and here she is Leah. ולזה, and for this reason, קרא שם המקום, he called the name of the place, Bet El, the house of God, נגד מלכות תתאה רחל, against or parallel to the lower kingdom, meaning the last letter of the tetragrammaton, the last letter Hey of the tetragrammaton, Rachel. בסוד, in the secret, חסד El, gratia Dei, the grace of God. וכנגד בינה, in parallel to בינה, שמאחורי, now comes a bit of Aramaic, שמאחוריים דילה דינין תקיפין, that in the back, here Fernando, this is a back to back relation, מאחוריים is back, double אחוריים, back to back, דילה of her, דינין תקיפים, rough judgment, דינים from דין, judgment, תקיפין, rough judgment. בסוד, in the secret, עצם קשה מאוד, very strong bone, שהוא lose. לזה, for this reason, לא אמר בראשונה, at first, אלא לראשונה, not at first with the letter bet, but לראשונה with למד, והנוקבה הראשונה לאה. And the first female is Leah. Now, did we understand what Luria tries to tell us? If there's a need, we should read again Luria in the verses.
I partially, I could get partially the meaning. I could not get this end about the Bet and the Lamid. I understood that in the text is La Rishona and not Ba Rishona with. But could you explain us this, especially this last sentence?
Yes, I will. But first, just Fernando, can you read verse Yud Aleph in Hebrew? Because this is how it starts in Hebrew.
Okay, so verse Yud Dalet. ויפגע במקום וילן שם כי בא השמש ויקח מהפני המקום וישם מחשתיו וישכב במקום ההוא.
Excellent, thank you so much. So he took, thank you so much, and he hit this place and he spent the night there because the sun was coming down, meaning darkness was coming, sun was coming down, and he took one of the stones of the place, Me'avnei Hamakom. This is the name of the article that we are reading from Luria. Vayasem merashotav, and he put under his head. Please pay attention. The English says, and he put, like I speak now, because this is the English, Vayasem merashotav, and he put under his head, when head in English is one. But please pay attention to the Hebrew. Merashotav, under his head, we have the word Rosh. Me is from Rosh, and then we have Tav. Please pay attention. So, good morning Venus and good morning Felipe. So to answer your question, we shall start from the beginning. So, Fernando, let's dialogue about the verse. What happens in this moment?
It's just following this idea that you are speaking about the Mechashotai. The idea is that the tithe is related to the otiot. This is the...
Good.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. But just general, before we jump into the well of meaning, what happens? Just like a theater play. Describe the scene.
Well, this scene in Genesis chapter 28.
Yes, in verse 11, what happens? This is
Jacob.
Yeah?
Yeah, Jacob was... it was night and Jacob was around a place where he took a stone and put it under his head. So he lay down at that place, and after we know the story of the ladder that is not here, but is presumed, and he changed the name of the place after this scene to Bethel, because the first name of the place was Luz.
Excellent. Let's see what Luria says. When Luria reads Vaikach me'avnei hamakom, and he took one of the stones of the place, he says, this is the place. Hine kan, here. Zacha Yaakov. Jacob had the righteousness. Lehidabek, to cleave, to stick with. Beharat Leah, in the illumination of Leah. Lachen sama merashotav. This is why he put the stone under his head. Because Leah, her place is in the head. So far so good?
Eti.
Yes.
And we can think that it is interesting to think how was the mindset of Jacob in that moment, because he was like going out from his home. He was kind of lost, right?
Yes.
In both moments.
Yes.
In this first moment when he is leaving and worry about Esav killing him. In the Midrash we have the story about the son of Esav going after Jacob.
Yes.
So he is, he's feeling guilty, and he is feeling that, it is not a kind of mode that you are excited in this first moment. And everything turns to the good, And in the second moment, he's excited because he's going to marry Rachel, and he turns out to be anguished because he discovered that it's Leah. I'm just putting these ideas to notice that how the things move in these scenes. It seems to me a contrast between the two mindsets. I don't know.
That's true. So, thank you for exposing the story. Now, how Luria reads the stone, how Luria sees the stone that Jacob puts under his head. How does he name the stone?
Leah.
Excellent. He named the stone Leah. And he says, Ki Leah מקומה בראש. לכן שמה, put her, מראשותיו, under his head. כי לאה מקומה בראש. וזה שכתוב, and this is what it is written, וישכב במקום ההוא. And he lay down in that place, that but hidden. Please pay attention, lay down in Hebrew.
Sorry, I can barely hear your voice now.
So, who can you hear now? Can you hear? Hello?
Yes, yes,
Yes?
much better,
Better.
better. Yes.
Please pay attention to lay down in Hebrew. Read every letter. Vav, the connecting Vav. Yesh. Yesh is there is in Hebrew. And Kaf Bet. And please pay attention. If I translate those 5 letters to English in one word, Vayishkav, and he laid down. But in Hebrew, Vav and Yesh, there is Kaf Bet. There are 22 what?
Letters, 20.
22 letters. meaning, כלומר, שיש זיווג במקום ההוא, that there is a mating, a connection in that hidden place. בסוד הדיבור, in the secret of speech. וכל הזיווג ההוא, and all this, that, how do you say that, far mating, the hidden mating. וכל הזיווג ההוא, and all this hidden mating, הוא להשפיע, is to influence, כף בית עטוון. 22, what? Letters.
Letters, yes.
אלא שבכאן, but here, נעלם מאוד, very very hidden, and is called Alma de Itkasia, the concealed world. And Rachel, Alma de Itgalia, and Rachel is the revealed world. Now, question Rodrigo, I feel you under fire.
No, just to mention, because you showed to us this word Yeshkav,
Yes.
and the Vav could be read as Jacob itself, the Zerampin, right?
Yes.
So the Zerampin there is the 22 letters in the Zerampin when he is connected with Leah, right? When Zerampin could reach the Binah, could be nourished by Binah, he has the 22 letters. So
Excellent.
the Vav, there is for the Vav the 22 letters that came from Binah.
Excellent. Now, what happens to us when we go to sleep? We don't put our head on a stone, but a person put his head on a pillow at night. And a pillow, white pillow or any color, is like a stone, is like a square, is like the tip of the yod. What happens to every person who put his head on a pillow? What happens to him?
We dream.
Which kind of mating does a person have when he puts his head on a pillow? With whom?
Our spirit, our soul, in
With
our
whom
dreams.
do we mate? With concealed or with the revealed?
With Leah.
With Leah. Every person who goes to sleep, very good, very good, very good. This is why these 22 letters are very hidden. They come as a dream, as an image, and so. Very good. This is very, very hidden. Fernando, what would you like to say?
No idea. I'm following and thinking about the secret.
Eti,
Yes.
but in this perspective, in this way, when we put our heads on a pillow and we dream and we have contact with the concealed with Leah, this is not how can I say, we are not conscious in this meeting.
Of course.
We don't know what came. We barely can remember what we dreamed. How can we deal with this meeting?
It happens already. It is happening all the time to all of us. this is how the Bible exposes it, and Luria speaks about it, but it is happening to all of us all the time. This is a very, very hidden, it is very concealed world. This is why it's so sacred. Sometimes it's a dream, sometimes it's a vision, sometimes it's a story. Sometimes it's enough that a person puts his head on a pillow in quiet, when there's no sounds or distractions or pressures or phone calls or demands from the world. And when there's a moment of peace and there's a space, things are coming from the hidden. This is what the Bible calls mating with Leah. This is Jacobinas, Zerenpin, mating with Leah. And suddenly comes like stream if we don't block it. Sometimes people like to watch movies before they go to sleep. In a way they block it. But if we let it be, it will come. And all kinds of things are coming. And this is very interesting.
So not necessarily in our dreams. It's not necessarily when we are asleep. It's an inner meaning. Or we could be awake, just be quiet, being silent, and we can feel it, right?
Yes, it's some kind of a very deep meditation, because when a person is quiet, the things which are not frontal are not a threat anymore. And then from the tree of life itself comes a communication. It might be when we just rest, and then it comes. You don't have to go to deep sleep or to dream. It's just that you let our guards, like the frontal mind is peace. He doesn't have to guard us, and it comes like communication from the tree of life. This is there. But it is very, very hidden, very hidden. Either or a dream or like the moments before we move into sleep. Or just we don't have to sleep, we just relax, and then comes a stream.
Eti,
Yes.
I would add also with this conversation sometimes we can assess this, like just right now. When you start to exchanging the letters, let's say, but I'm not talking about it literally. But what I am saying is that the hard text slowly starts to melt, slowly
Yes.
starts to form a new reality.
Yes.
And we start to imagine new things. I think that all of us now are imagining how it is to be married with Leah, and what is Leah, the 22 letters. It is, we are
Yes.
not anymore talking about something
Yes.
that is rigid. It is
Yes.
quite fluid.
True.
So I think that we are in this state.
Yes. It is true. This is the beauty of the text. This is it. So we should
Eti,
Yes. Yes.
sorry, before you continue, I have one question
Yes.
out of the topic, but there is a word that appears in this text from Luria that remembers me another word, and I have some doubts. I'm already talk with Fernando and Felipe regarding this word, and if you could clarify to me, not necessarily now, but in another moment, appears in these words from Luria, the word Alma, Alma.
Alma is a world. Alma,
Yes, but
olam in Hebrew. Yes.
I remember another word which is Amalek, because Amalek.
Oh.
When I read the word Alma, because it's just to exchange the aleph from to the kuf, and both are one, just in another level, and I don't know the meaning of the Amalek. I know the story, the literal meaning in biblical historical facts, let's say, but I don't know the hidden meaning or the symbolic meaning of the Amaleks, Amalekites, enfim, that people that in the Bible fight against the Moses and etc. So when I see the word, I don't know if there is a relation between Alma and Amalek, but in my mind, they are similar words, and
Just
I just try to fit.
yes, yes, because yes, that there's also exchange of mem and lamed. Yes, true. But I shall write about this on Discord.
Thank you very much, Echi. Thank you very much.
Hmm.
Sorry to.
No, no, it's okay. This is what comes
No,
to your mind. This is what happens to the text because this is an active text, and to everyone, it looks or comes to each and every one of us as it comes. This is why when we read the text, we connect with the world to come. This is what comes to you. It is okay. Like Fernando says, we are already in this moment. So, in Venus is writing, Alma is a young woman, and it'd be curious what you write on this. Alma. Alma, yes. Alma is a young woman, yes. But here it is a world, because what is the relation between young woman and the world? A young woman is like a bud. It is not an open flower, and it is not revealed yet. This is the connection. It is the potential is still it is held inside. It's not yet manifested. So we have two worlds: Alma Deit Cassia, the concealed world of Leah, within us, and Rachel Alma Deit Galia, the revealed or the manifested. Now, וזה שכתוב, and this is what it is written, ויהי בבוקר, and it was in the morning, והנה היא לאה, and here she is, Leah. כי בלילה הייתה נעלמת, because at night she was hidden. אבל בבוקר, but in the morning, והנה היא לאה, and here she is Leah, because he could recognize her at night. He could not recognize Leah, only in the morning when he saw her. ולזה, and for that reason, קרא שם המקום, the name of the place, Bet El. Why does he name the place? Now please pay attention of Luria, how he moves in his thinking. And for this reason, because what happens, Fernando, let's look at the biblical text. And here in the morning, and this is Leah. This is Genesis chapter 29. Yes, verse 25. But, and he called the name of the place Bet El, and here, this is it. This is here. What does he do here? What does Luria do? Yes, Fernando.
It is just one thing that is interesting is that we talked long time ago about this expression Vehine he Leah,
Yes.
because when we read in the Bible, it seems that we have a wrong vav here,
Yes.
right? It is,
Yes.
it could be, if we not have the points, the mark points, we could read that Vehinehu Leah,
Yes.
as if Leah was a man and not a woman.
True. True.
But in fact, she is a man. I'm sorry, she is masculine because she is positive. She's from Bina, and Bina is upper from Zeranpin, right? It is in this relationship, Binah is the masculine because it's who influence who. It is. I don't know. I don't know if it is this. It is. This came just that is the masculine and the feminine are uh, depend on the context in this moment, because we are not talking about people, we are talking about other things, spheres or worlds. So just to point this at, because I can remember that once you showed us this. I cannot hear you.
Here? Hello? Hello?
Yes, now.
Yes? Yes. Very good, Fernando. Very good. So let's see how Luria reads the Torah, because in the Torah there is no before and after. He just jumps and moves. He's very fluid with the text. But in the morning, and here she is Leah, ולזה, and for this reason, קרא שם המקום בית אל. Please pay attention, because Luria reads the text in different levels at the same time. Jacob goes to sleep on a stone, and he וישכב במקום ההוא, and he is lying down in this place, and there is a mating which is called Leah, but he does not know. But when he wakes up, והנה היא לאה, he recognized that this is the world which was concealed. So in the morning he noticed that he was at night in another version of himself, and in the morning he says והנה היא לאה, he understands, and for this reason he called the name of the place Bet El, the house of God. Neged Malchut Tata'a Rachel, against or parallel to the lower kingdom, or the second hay of the name, parallel to Rachel. Let's see what is happening here. Please, can you read verse 19, the first part?
In Hebrew, it's
Yes, please.
English.
Hebrew, please.
Okay. ויקרא את שם המקום ההוא בית אל ואולם. Just this? Okay.
Yes, just at a moment to stop. ויקרא שם המקום ההוא בית אל. And he called the name of the place Bet El. Which place did he call Bet El? Why does he name this place Bet El, or what happened in this place that he now calls Bet El?
He had a dream.
Yes, when he had a dream, or when he put his head on the stone, when he had a dream, he called this place Bet El, the house of God. Please continue the Hebrew. Verse 19.
ואולם לעוז שם חייך. So, ואולם לעוז שם חייך לראשונה.
Yes. But the name of the city is Luz at first, and here Luria noticed that the Bible writes La Rishona,
Yes.
La Rishona with Lamed, and not, and this is your question. We finally,
Yes.
Fernando, we are coming to answer your question. Yes? I'm just skipping to answer your question, and then we shall return to with the text. לזה לא אמר בראשונה, at first with bet, אלא לראשונה with למד. Okay, Let's read and weave. What is the difference, before we read Luria's thoughts, what is the difference between Bet and Lamed? Bet and Lamed.
Bet is a in grammar level. At bet is a preposition, right? In or something like that.
Yes.
And lamed is for
Two.
or
Yeah.
two or something like that, right? In grammar.
In grammar, this is, you mean Bet is like via? Yes?
Like to be in, like Bereshit in the beginning.
In the
Like-
beginning, okay. Or via, okay. Preposition,
Or via,
yes. You say it's a
yes.
preposition?
Yes.
Yes.
And lamed is to someone, like
To. Okay,
to
preposition.
give something. I don't know.
Okay. But this is a translation to English, yes? But look at the letters. Focus, meditate. What is the difference between Bet and Lamed? From what the Lamed is composed?
Oh, if we get the visual, the draw, we
Yes.
see the vav to above, the lamed that goes to above with a vav, an upper
Yes.
vav.
Yes.
A kaf
So,
vav.
Kaf Vav,
Yes.
excellent. Kaf Vav. The Lamed is a composition of Kaf and Vav above. Now, what Kaf Vav stands for? Which number?
26.
26.
26.
And 26 for which name?
Hashem,
Hashem.
tetragrammaton.
Now let's read again. Luria's thoughts. You see, Fernando, why your question was
Yes.
so important.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, and I continue. ולזה קרא שם המקום בית אל. And for this reason, he called the name of the place בית אל. נגד מלכות תתאה, parallel or against the lower kingdom, Rachel. בסוד, in the secret, חסד אל. Gratia Dei, the grace of God. And there is a dot here. וכנגד בינה, and parallel to בינה or against בינה, שמאחוריים דילי דינין תקיפין, and parallel to בינה, that behind her the judgment is rough, בסוד, in the secret of עצם קשה מאוד, of a very hard bone, שהוא lose. This is the name of the bone that we have in our nape. lose. לזה אמר, לזה לא אמר. For this reason he did not say בראשונה, אלא לראשונה. והנוג בה הראשונה, לאה. And the first feminine is Leah. Let's move to the text. Now the question is that Luria asks in the second part of the verse, 19 י"ט, ואולם לוז שם העיר לראשונה. And Luz is the name of the city at first. And Luria says the Bible could say at first with Bet, like Bereshit, two beginnings. But the Bible writes with Lamed. For what reason? Because the Lamed is written with Kaf and Vav. Kaf and Vav, which is 26, which is the Tetragrammaton. It is very hidden. And in this place there is like a back-to-back relation. It's not in a way face-to-face. This is why he used Lamed, because Like we say, a person goes to dream, he doesn't know what happens. This is why Larishona and not Barishona, Larishona with Lamid. לזה לא אמר בראשונה, אלא לראשונה. והנוקבה הראשונה, and the first feminine is Leah. Do we understand the thinking? Or not? If not, I will explain again.
What I'm thinking that I could not understand yet, it is that you said that is the city of Luz
Yes,
that is related with Leah,
yes,
and you said that in this place exists a back-to-back relationship.
yes.
So I'm just trying to understand this idea, you know.
Our relation is first with the hidden, which is called Luz, or which is called Leah. And for us, those relations are rough. One second, I will try to explain it from, let's say we learn. Yes.
If I understand, it is that in this kind of relation we do not have control, so it is rough for us.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it is like walking in the dark. You need to walk slowly and trying to find
Yes.
find what is happening, right?
Yes. There is also a bone in the man's body, which is in the nape, connects the head to the spine. This bone is, I don't have the name, this medical name in English, but this bone is called Luz. And the bone is at the nape behind. It's not like our mind or forehead, which is front. This bone is like a night for us, and the day is like Rachel, because we recognize things. When we don't recognize things, this is Luz or Leah. When we recognize, this is Rachel. But he noticed, Baboker vehine hi Leah. He noticed this is Leah, and this is why he changed the name of the place to Bet El. Bet El comes when we recognize things. Luz, now we have two sides of the same coin. We have one coin, one side of the because if we take a coin, any coin, we have a number and we have a drawing. So here we have two coins. Luz, this is the night. Olia. And the morning is Bet El. Morning or Rachel. Like when you said, when we don't have a control about dreams, it's like frightening. It's not pleasant. This is why he says, Ve'ulam Shem Ha'ir, Ve'ulam Luz, but Luz is the name at first, La Rishona with Lamid. Because Lamed, La Rishona, is the hidden. Did you understand the Lamed?
Yes.
La Rishona. It's without Vav. Because Larishona can refer both to the first, can be refer both to the city and both to the woman, Leah. Can be. This is what Luria does. He moves between the name of the city or the name of the situation inside of us, which is hidden, to the name of the woman, the name of his wife. He moves. City is like situation. Yes. This is why he says, one second, לזה לא אמר בראשונה at first, with bet, like bereshit, אלא לראשונה. But לראשונה, to the first nukba. The first female.
It is interesting.
You see how he walks on a very thin thread?
Yes.
The
And
city
if we
of the-
remember
Yes.
yesterday class about the first nukba, about the bina, about the nest, and
Yes.
all that idea that what is in the first nukba is the wisdom as well. You know,
Yes.
she has the wisdom inside.
Yes. Yes, this is true. This is true. This is why Leah conceived 4 children, one after the other. La Rishona, very good. Because just pay attention that Barishona is like with bet like Bereshit. And the first chapter of Bereshit is about the cognitive speech. Vayehi Or, it has to do with Rachel. We prove this mathematically. Bereshit, the cognitive, this is the whole chapter is about cognitive, cognition, and logos. But here, La Rishona, there is like irrational, you could say. La Rishona, irrational. It's very complex.
Eti,
Yes.
I have a tendency to associate the word Betel with Leah, with the conceal. But if I understood well, in this perspective, Betel is related with Malchut,
With Rachel,
right?
yes. Bet El, Chesed El Kol Hayom, Gratia Day, all day. This is, yes, Malchut and Rachel, yes. This is why Rachel was beautiful, because Grace is beautiful. Yes. Yes. Yes, Bet El is Rachel and Luz is Leah. This is it.
Thank you.
Welcome. We have like few parables about the relations between those two. Wasn't Leah buried in? She was buried in. Yes, she was buried in Bet Lechem. Bet Lechem. In Derech Efrat. Yes, Rachel was buried in Bet Lechem. Bet Lechem. Also Bait, yes. You were saying that if there's a house, let's say, there's a house, and this is the first floor is Rachel, Grace, in this case, and Leah is the attic. Leah is the attic. It's next to the sun, next to the rain. This is rough judgment. This is why in the Babylonian Talmud they say a person who has wheat, don't put him here in the attic next to the roof. This is a hint about wisdom. not to put wisdom next to the sun. So this is interesting. Questions? Do we understand the relation between Leah and Rachel? Because once we learned that Leah is the first hay, yes. Bina and Rachel is Malchut, true. This is if we speak about the four letters as they are. But Luria sees this also in the name of the cities or the modes that one person crosses through his life. Please ask if you want to ask something.
It's about the 22 letters, so
Yes.
just to it is interesting just that because this week we had our Zohar meeting and I was reading the book of Zohar in the portion of Vaikra, and the opening of the portion is also about this relationship with 22 letters. So it is the same idea that the masculine, the wise is the one who has a relationship with it. I don't know what do you think about this, and here we see that the stone in fact was a reference to the 22 letters that Jacob was taken to his head. So I'm just wondering the secret about this.
Meaning, Fernando?
Here and there in the book of Zohar and the writings of Ari, we can see this speaking about the 22 letters like a living entity, like a living entity, not like an object, but as a subject, as an active being. And here we saw about the otiot, like I'm just looking at many things at the same time, with wondering about the nature and about the influence of these 22 letters with the letters itself, like the Aleph Tav, the Otiot. It is difficult even to make a question it, but what I am saying is that we can read that is like a living entity. It is not something like an alphabet that we use in English or Portuguese or something like this.
It is true. It is true. It is a living entity or entities. This is why the book of Ezekiel in chapter 1 says, "Ve'hachayot ratzo v'shov," and the animated are coming and going. This is our thoughts or the communication that one gets. It's just we get all the time communication comes and goes through the letters, through the words, through the sentences. This is it. This is Orach Chaya. Yes? Orach Chaya. This is why Sfirat Yesod is also called El Chai, because Yesod is drawing the letters.
Thank you, Eti.
Welcome.
Eti,
Yes, yes, yes.
Venus wrote on YouTube, I believe, if I understood well, if the letter Kuf could be reading as Lamed with Kaf Vav. I don't know if I understood well, but now
She
I don't know if Kuf could be considered as 26 also.
as 26 or as a sound? As a sound,
No,
because
no, because we see the Lamed as Kaf Vav, right?
yes,
The letter Kuf could be read as Kaf Vav also.
the sound. She speaks about the sound, so there is a relation of sound between kuf and kaf. This is true. This is true, but she speaks about the foot. You mean the long leg of the kuf? If the
Yes.
the long leg of the kaf is vav or nun sufit, it is good to find out. It might be vav, it might be nun sufit. We have to find out. It's a good question.
Yes, and Venus also answered my question about Amalek. Thank you, Venus, to share. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being good friends. Is there any other question that you would like to ask today?
No, it just to say thank you to you and to our friends on YouTube and Discord. It was a great session. It's amazing to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for participating here. I
Th-
thank you from the bottom of my heart. Toda rabba.
And we thank you, Eti. It was amazing, really amazing and deep to be here in this encounter. Thank you so much, and thank you, Venus, Felipe, Rodrigo. All the best, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you, Eti.
Amen. Shalom, shalom. Toda rabba.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. Thank you. Shalom.